The arrogant hot dice captain Mark Webber spends much of his time talking trash.
He's just mad because I am doing his moves better than he is. Oh, daddy! And I'm Brian Gamble.
But is he scared of the almighty Mark D'Amato?
I have no problems with Mark D'Amato. Me and Mark, we're cool.
Mark Webber is an idiot. If I tell that freak to jump off a bridge, he's jumping.
Tonight, the Marks meet face to face. Meanwhile, the roller derby queen will be crowned after a halftime match race. The original ceremony erupted in violence. The feelings between Loden, Blitch, and Francis are stronger than hate. The track ain't big enough for these girls. It's a Wild West Shootout Championship rematch as the Hot Dice take aim at the Enforcers. Next on Roller Jam. A beautiful look at Orlando, Florida, and that's where we have landed tonight for this Roller Jam matchup between the New York Enforcers and the Nevada Hot Dice. Happy to have you with us, everybody. I'm Rory Marcus, along with Lee Hawk Rearman. And tonight, at last, we'll find out who is the Roller Derby Queen. We will crown her at halftime following a match race. All 5 of the contestants will decide it, as it was always meant to be, I think, on the track.
Well, now, wait a minute. I wouldn't be cashing in any chips yet, but get the VCRs ready because you're not going to want to miss this. I don't know what we're going to decide, but you're not going to want to miss what is going to be an awesome match race at halftime.
Originally, Lindsey Francis was crowned Roller Derby Queen by General Manager Kenneth Logue, but there's a lot of controversy involving that. And as they were getting ready, long before this game tonight, Lindsey Francis feels it is her crown to win or lose, and she's going to come out and defend it with everything she's got. But there are 4 girls trying to take it away, including Denise Loden, who has already taken steps during games to almost try to injure some of her competition. She'll be tough. But so will Bod Squad member Stacy Blitch. Stacy Blitch, who may or may not be dating Sean Atkinson of the Quakes now. That won't matter tonight as she goes after the Roller Derby Queen crown. And don't forget, Suzanne Shalene and Amy Craig, who just happen to be warming up together for this event. Amy Craig's probably the best pure skater out of all 5. It should be a great match race, 8 laps. Somebody will drop out after 2 laps, and eventually we will have a Roller Derby Queen. But in this game tonight, don't forget about the men, because Mark D'Amato is making his presence felt as he runs this league.
Well, absolutely. And we've got the retirement tour, as it's so called, by Mark Webber, is conspicuously missing Mark D'Amato. Mark Webber's against everybody in the league except Mark D'Amato. Let's watch how that relationship plays out.
Just trying to get a friend in the league, I guess. Mark D'Amato and the Enforcers against the Hot Dice. Coming up, they're coming on the track. And indeed, they are ready to make their way to the bank track. The green and white of the Nevada Hot Dice. It's hot around the fire, I think, but the women may get it to the track first.
Well, they had a lot of courage a lot of times to run through that pyro, but Shea Brown, she loves to play to the crowd, and from what she's been telling people, she's really rooting for her friend Lindsey Francis in that match race here, Rory.
I think she loves to play to the crowd and the camera as well. Mark Webber stops to salute himself.
And somebody who's, I don't think's afraid of anything, Mark Webber. These X-Men, we talk about fear. These guys are as fearless as they get.
You don't find too many people that'll come onto a track or into a room and immediately show you their tongue. But Webber's one of them.
Well, I can't believe he's wearing those glasses. I wouldn't be seen in public with those things on anywhere.
So the Hot Dice are here, and here come the New York Enforcers. Recognizable easily in their black uniforms.
Well, Janet Abraham, who blocks out the sun, is recognizable. And Karen Magnuson, a lot of times she doesn't look like a whole lot. She looks kind of sweet without her helmet on, Roy, but once she straps it up, she is just a force to be reckoned with.
Well, she doesn't have a sweet look on her face, I don't think. She's tough out there. And now here come the men. Here comes the guy that, I don't know where he gets these chains, but he always has them, the big nasty.
I think he goes around town here in Orlando at Universal Studios just like ripping down sets that are under construction.
Mark D'Amato posing for the crowd as well, and he's been feeling quite full of himself lately. I think being the leader of the Skaters Union has kind of gone to Mark D'Amato's head. And speaking of his head, that's not the best looking head I've ever seen. One thing about a New York Enforcer game, it's always interesting to see what Mark D'Amato has to say. At least it's interesting to me, Hawk, and I guess it's interesting to Broadway Danny Wolf because he always talks to him, and he's going to do it right now. Broadway?
It's always interesting to talk to Mark D'Amato, Rory.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I just said that, Mark. You've been quoted recently as saying the Hot Dice are the #2 contenders to your Enforcer team.
Absolutely. The Enforcers are #1, and the Hot Dice are a distant #2.
Let's talk about Mark Webber and his retirement tour. Seems before every game he mocks the older skaters, especially Ray Robles and Richard Brown, because they wear quads. But you know what? He's never once talked any smack, and I've given him the opportunity to talk bad about you, Mark.
Webber is a moron, but he is not a complete moron. He knows better than to mess with me and my team.
So what, are you going to spare him tonight?
You know what? I will spare him.
Come on, old man.
Roller Rules, brought to you by Dial 1-800-AT&T for collect calls.
There are 4 6-minute periods. The women skate periods 1 and 3. The men skate periods 2 and 4. There are 5 skaters per team, 2 jammers and 3 blockers. The blockers wear white helmets. The jammers have the black helmet with the stripe. Points are scored when jammers lap opposing team members. Here's an example of what I was just talking about. The jammer for the green team breaks out from the pack and circles the track. For each member of the red team that he or she passes, 1 point is earned.
We're all excited about the match race coming up, and coming up right now is a battle between Karen Magnuson and the New York Enforcers. She feels very comfortable in the shadow of Mark D'Amato and Shea Brown. We talked about her root for Lindsey Francis, but she's going to be setting her own examples right here in the first period.
Here we go. Hawk will get better as we go along.
No, I won't. I'll get worse.
Lauren Adams gets out there. You can tell Lauren Adams and Courtney Barlow by their black leather uniforms. Barlow's in the long pants and Lauren Adams is in the shorter ones. We like them both. And Lauren Adams is out there now by herself along with Mindy Smith of the Hot Dice. And Mindy Smith takes Lauren Adams down. But the bad news is when she gets to the back of the pack, there's Janet Abraham. Whoa, she went by her like she was nailed to the floor. Nice move by Mindy Smith. Still 20 seconds of jam time left. And Smith's racking up the points. Lauren Adams trying to catch from behind for the Enforcers, and she called it off.
3 white.
Mindy Smith called it off, and she was smart to do it. 3 points for the Hot Dice.
Well, she's the fastest Hot Dice jammer, and many would argue maybe the fastest woman in the World Skating League is Mindy Smith, and you said it, you hit the hammer on the head with Janet Abraham waiting, but Mindy Smith went right around her like she was standing still, Rory.
A quick 3-0 lead for the green and white clad Hot Dice. Not hard to tell who the Enforcers are. They're in black, and they live up to that black hat-hatted cowboy image. And out there goes April Tootle for the Enforcers. Nobody else got out of the pack.
And April Tootle last year was predominantly a blocker, but she's really kind of morphed herself both in attitude and in physique. She's much leaner, much sleeker, and her skating style now is that of a jammer, but Karen Magnuson can always block.
Janet Abraham held the pack together, and now she's helping April Tootle score some points as you see Hot Dice skaters go up to the rail one after another. And the Enforcers got the best of that jam by plenty. They got 5. They got them all.
Well, and Karen Magnuson got out in front of April Tootle. And if April Tootle has a new jamming attitude, Karen Magnuson was an oldie but a goodie. I mean, she was just cleaning house. She had the Mark D'Amato cleaver out.
The crowd loves it. 5-3 is the score. We'll be right back. I think that's Shea Brown's mom, isn't it? She has a sign. She loves Shea Brown, and there is Shea. Shea hasn't done much yet in this game, but she will, believe me. Karen Magnuson gets out of there for the Enforcers. Right now it's 5-3. The Enforcers have the lead in this game. Kim Hart out there with her. And Kim Hart gets the best of her. You talk about fitness hawk. Kim Hart is in perfect shape. And she comes around to score the points.
Well, she's in great physical condition, but you have to question what kind of mental state of mind she's in. Apparently, these showgirls are self-destructing. We talked about the showgirl sizzle becoming the showgirl fizzle, and the New York Enforcers are trying to break away or pull away.
Here comes the pull away, and now they'll try and whip Kim Hart around so she can catch him. They try and get out there and make the jam time expire before they can score any points, but it's not working. Kim Hart has picked up all but 2 of them. She gets a little push. And does she get one more? No. She gets taken out of the play by Karen Magnuson. But she did get 3 of them, and now the fight starts. Magnuson and Hart with Hart on top.
Let's go. Get on the track.
That's good advice.
Let's go. Get ready now.
Get on the track. Well, she was on the track scoring points until Magnuson put her down.
Well, the key to these pull-aways is to have somebody in the back of the pull-away to be a true blocker, and Karen Magnuson no better to have, bringing up the caboose. And when Kim Hart came around, Karen Magnuson did her job, sent her down, kept her from scoring a bunch of points. That's why the pull-away was effective.
6-5, the Hot Dice have a 1-point lead now. And here's Shea Brown. We talked about her a minute ago, and she's out there for the Hot Dice. Let's see what she does as she comes up from behind. She's a great blocker, but she's also a good jammer. And she's out there with April Tootle. Puts the right leg up. They didn't get rid of Tootle that time, though. Plenty of time left in the jam, 25 seconds. So Shea Brown leaves April Tootle for her teammate and goes on by. Brown scoring the points. Gets by Courtney Barlow inside. 13 seconds left in the jam. She's going to call it off.
And 2 white.
She did pick up 2, however.
2 white points.
So Shea Brown gets a couple of points, and Mom says, that's my girl.
Well, and I take my hat off to Shea Brown here, Rory. In recent games, we've seen her so fiery and so feisty. We all know that Stacy Blitz of the Bod Squad and Denise Loden, formerly or futurely or whatever she is, whatever team she's on now, bring the fire out of her. But you're seeing her really get down to business and concentrate on the game tonight. I think we might be seeing a little bit of maturity out of Shea Brown. And when you add maturity to her physical ability, just look out.
Well, as the showgirls kind of fizzle out, she's taken over the leadership of this team, I would say, for the Hot Dice now. That's Andrea Franklin. And Andrea Franklin's out there with Magnuson of the New York Enforcers. Karen Magnuson trying to get in front on this jam. April Tootle out there as well for the Enforcers. And along with Franklin, that's Danielle Pandeline. 8-5, the Hot Dice lead in this game. Pandeline goes down. Franklin takes a shot and she goes down. And the Enforcers look to grab the lead before the women's period is over with. Here comes a whip. Uh-oh. They're going to whip Abraham up there to clear some room for them. Will it work?
They better watch out, everybody else, because if Janet Abraham gets ahead of steam, it's a locomotive out of control.
You give Janet Abraham a double whip, and she can go right through the wall for you.
We're in Orlando. She might end up in Tampa.
Coming up in the second period, Mark Weber, the young Nevada Hot Dice, going up against the Enforcers, led by Mark D'Amato. First period has come to an end. The Nevada Hot Dice 8, the New York Enforcers 7. It's 8-7. The Hot Dice have the lead after 1 period of play, but now the men getting set to take to the track. Cincinnati's finest, Mark Weber.
Well, he's taking off his glasses, I hope, Rory, and he's going to try to add to that 1-point lead, but he's got to go against Mark D'Amato. He's been hesitant to make fun of Mark D'Amato, but Mark D'Amato's going to give him something to make fun of on the track here, I'm sure.
The whistle blows, and we're ready to go. And onto the track with Jason McDaniel and Rocky Bowman. The men's period is underway. And McDaniel's out there. McDaniel's pondering the rail at the moment. He got sent into that rail hard by Rocky Bowman. When you look at this Enforcer team, they just look like an old roller derby team, don't they? With D'Amato and Washington and Gavani and Bowman. Bowman comes up and he's going to test the blocking abilities of Randy Garrett. So far, he hasn't been able to get by him. Mark Webber set to set a block for him. Oh, there goes Bowman down. Webber was laying in wait for him. That's like taking the trash out.
Wow, that's called the windmill.
Did you see
Rock.
that? Did you see D'Amato, who had said he was going to spare Webber tonight, came over and gave him a punch in the head for his efforts here.
Well, they called him an idiot, but he said, how backhanded of a compliment is when somebody says, well, he's an idiot, just not a total, or a moron, not a total moron.
Depends on your perspective, I guess.
Well, he must have pondered that one before he said it, Rory.
Either the glass is half empty or half full. Yeah, I'm a moron, but I'm not a complete moron.
Or the glass is broken in the case of the five-borough lineup.
All right. John Morrissey's out there for the New York Enforcers. And the youngster gets knocked down by Webber. Mark Webber comes up to meet Tim Washington. Mr. Washington says, come on, boy. And Webber runs right into that elbow. Washington ponders hitting him again and does it. And D'Amato's waiting for Webber. I thought he was going to spare him. I guess that's all forgotten now. If that's sparing him, I'd hate to see beating him up.
Well, you said it. A moron, but not a total moron. I guess this is how he treats the not total morons. That must make Sean Atkinson a moron, because I've seen a little bit, about 10% more on some of the punches to Atkinson, but I don't think Webber is seeing any punches being pulled or any sparing being done right there. My goodness.
What happened? I'm going to spare him, I wonder. 9-7 now is the score. As D'Amato goes to take a rest in the penalty box, and Micah Martin gets out for the Nevada Hot Dice. And he'll be chased out there by Rocky Bowman. Micah Martin, he's one of the young stars in this league. He can skate, and I mean fast. But Bowman had him in his sights and sends him right into the upright. Boy, this New York team is tough from top to bottom. Rocky Bowman reaches the back of the pack in the double block of McDaniel and Garrett. Can Bowman get through? Maybe with Washington assisting him, he can. I'd say it's a pretty good chance of it. Washington telling him what to do now, which basically is probably going to be, follow me, kid. Here's the whip coming. Bowman, oh, he tried to throw him right over the top, and they didn't make it. Washington tried to throw Bowman over the double block and just threw him into himself.
But the Rock, the Bowman, takes out Micah Martin. They didn't quite pull this move off at the end. I think Tim Washington was trying, I guess, maybe a reverse. They call it the Rock when he throws the Rock. Trying to get a little bit of height. I think that was the Rock's fault. He almost knocked out Tim Washington.
He just threw him right into his own head. Maybe you're right. Maybe he doesn't ponder. 9-8 is the score now. Washington would have to throw him 10 feet in the air to get him over his own head. And here's the reverse double whip, and that sends McDaniel out there with Micah Martin. Fred Eichhorn's on the jam for the New York Enforcers. Well, no, he's not. He's down. And that leaves Micah Martin and Jason McDaniel for the Hot Dice, who lead this game 9-8 in the closing minutes of the first half. And don't forget the match race we have coming up at halftime to determine the roller derby queens. Tim Washington's back to block. And he's got two big arms, and he uses them both. Oh, man, you're talking about using them both. What about this? Right into D'Amato.
That's the eliminator. I guess that's a double eliminator.
He's trying to pile him up.
Well, they just made a big X out of two of the X-Men. They called Jason McDaniel and Micah Martin and Mark Webber the X-Men. Well, two of those X-Men, Micah Martin right there, along with Jason McDaniel.
Oh, look at that.
Well, I'll tell you, Mark Webber might have just flown into a hornet's nest that he didn't want to get into, and it just got bigger, did that hornet's nest.
That takes some guts to go after Washington. Webber has never really gone after D'Amato, and now McDaniel's going to do it for him.
Well, if there was any loyalty between the Skaters United Coalition led by Mark D'Amato, it's over now.
Well, it's pretty hard to have a union in this league, I'll tell you that. Look at the choking by D'Amato on Jason McDaniel. Somebody better get him out of there.
Well, this is ugly, and speaking of beasts, thank God we got a little beauty coming up at halftime.
Look at Washington. He had them both, and he served them up to D'Amato.
Well, in the jam before, he got caught with Rocky Bowman trying to do a little finesse move. That time he went with power. And if there's one person that can deliver power, it's Big Tim Washington.
Don't forget about the match race. The 5 women go for the roller derby queen in just a minute. We're back in Orlando with a glamorous event. 5 women on the track. You see them there, vying to be roller derby queen. We're going to finally find out from the top of your screen. Stacy Blitch, Denise Loden, Lindsey Francis, Suzanne Shalene, and Amy Craig. There's Amy Craig of the California Quakes. Probably the best skater of all 5, and a little kiss for you in the audience.
Now, I thought that was for me.
No, everybody but you. There's Suzanne Shalene, who just said hi, Posse. Of course, her husband, Posse Shalene.
That kiss was for me.
A teammate of the Sun Dogs. No, it wasn't. And then in the middle, Lindsey Francis, who maybe at this moment is roller derby queen, at least according to Kenneth Loeb's counts.
Was that kiss for me?
No, none of them will be. She's in the middle. Denise Loden. Thumbs up. She's ready to go. She's all business. No kisses. She just wants to win this thing. And Stacy, look at that.
No!
I told you it was Stacy Blitch. Sean Atkinson, a little kiss on the cheek for luck to Stacy Blitch, and she says, I'm ready to go. All 5 of them are ready to go. Whoever wins it will be roller derby queen. It's 5 laps, 8-lap race. After every 2 laps, whoever is last at that point is out until there's only 1 left. And here they go. You don't want to be last. At the moment, Stacy Blitch is last. And Suzanne Shalene's in front, along with Amy Craig, and they're pumping each other. They've gone around once already. After 2 laps, who's going to be last? It's close. They're all together. Oh, Suzanne Shalene got blasted by Blitch, and Shalene was last around that time. Now they come to the line again. Suzanne Shalene trying to get out of last place, and they won't let her by. She gets knocked down, and she's eliminated. Now there are 4 left. Lindsey Francis has the lead. Stacy Blitch is there in second. Then it's Loden and Amy Craig. Craig is a great skater, but I don't know if she can get by these 3 determined girls. No, she can't. Down she goes. She's out of there. And we're left with 3 vying to be roller derby queen. Blitch, Loden, Francis. That's all that's left. Lindsey Francis in her wrestler uniform, trying to hang on, and Stacy Blitch trying to take her out.
This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Down goes Lindsey Francis, and she won't get up. There are only 2 left. The roller derby queen will be either Denise Loden or Stacy Blitch. Loden throws a hard right hand into the back. Blitch grabs her, and the 2 of them are going one-on-one. Denise sends Blitch into the infield. Look out!
Oh, they're in the trap!
But Stacy Blitch stayed up. Denise Loden went down. She crosses the infield. The finish line is up. Whoever crosses the yellow tape's going to win it. Right now, Denise is ahead if she can get to that tape. Blitz trying to catch on the inside. Grabs her hair and wins it.
Oh, Daddy!
Stacy Blitch is the roller derby queen, ladies and gentlemen. Denise Loden was going for the finish line, and Stacy Blitch got a hold of those golden locks and pulled her down from behind. And look at Kenneth Loeb. He gives her the tiara.
New roller derby queen, new millennium, Stacy Blitch.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I've worked hard for this, and I know I deserve it. Thank you so much.
From the thrill of victory to the agony of defeat, Stacy Blitch, she's got the crown, she's got the guy.
Congratulations to the new roller derby queen, Stacy Blitch.
Illegal pool. That's not right. That's not right.
There's no such thing as an illegal pool in a match race. Anything goes. And Stacy Blitch, with her Bod Squad uniform, has frustrated Denise Loden.
Well, and remember, Rory, Denise Loden, you talk about a man without a team, she doesn't even have a team.
There's the winning move. That's all it took. And Stacy Blitch exults. She's the roller derby queen.
Stacy couldn't be happier, and Denise Loden is upset. And there's Atkinson. Who knows what he's saying to her?
Oh!
Whatever he was saying, he's not saying it anymore. And Denise Loden skates off the track as we get set for the second half. Feels like something's in my mouth. Oh, it's Karen Magnuson. And the Nevada Hot Dice and Shea Brown ready to go against Magnuson and the Enforcers. Stay with us for the second half.
A lot of roller derby queen hopes went up in flames just a minute ago as Stacy Blitch won it. And there's no doubt now who the roller derby queen is. But we still have a half of action to go in this game between the New York Enforcers and the Nevada Hot Dice. Well, that was quite a match race with all five of them on the track together at one time.
That was the greatest thing I've ever seen. I'm speechless.
Thank goodness. 11-8, the Dice lead this game by 3. And out there for the Enforcers, Karen Magnuson. Boy, she's good, isn't she? Magnuson comes to the back of the pack, and Abraham is clearing her path for her. Janet Abraham knocking them dead. She's sending them up to the rail one after another. And Magnuson just calmly skates by and tallies up the points. Here comes another one. Still 20 seconds of jam time left, and she got them all. And just like that, the Enforcers go from trailing to up by 1.
Points. They got 4 black points.
Well, Janet Abraham and Karen Magnuson, they've never been, and I'm apologizing in advance, they've never been accused of being in the running for the roller derby queen. They might take a little offense to that extended halftime to do that thing, and they showed right there, hey, what about the girls that can pack a punch, people?
Well, Karen Magnuson can do it all. Maybe someday she will be roller derby queen. Who knows? I don't think it's a lifetime tiara, is it? Adrian Medrano gets out there now for the New York Enforcers. And chased very quickly out there by Mindy Smith. Smith trying to catch from behind. Medrano looks ahead of her and sees her teammates, but Smith just went right on by her and goes underneath Abraham and April Tootle that time. Gets a whip to come up top, and the Hot Dice are right back in front. Boy, that was a nice move by Mindy Smith. She used her quickness, and she still has time to get some more if she can. Did she get one more if she jumps up and gets past? No, she called it off.
2 white. 2 white.
Good job, though, by Mindy Smith.
Well, a lot of what's the success so far was with Shea Brown. In that pack right there, she was knocking some people around. She kept Janet Abraham and Karen Magnuson a little bit occupied. They were trying to set up a double block. I believe April Tootle was back there as well. You can't say enough about Shea Brown. And once again, Rory, I want to reiterate that she's keeping her mouth shut this game, which has just got to be a wonderful sign for these Nevada Hot Dice, because her physical ability can speak for itself. And if she's got the maturity now to realize that, she's going to conserve her energy and play great every game.
13-12 now. Hot Dice on top. And that's Laura Weintraub for the Hot Dice against Lauren Adams for the New York Enforcers. The Enforcers, one thing they do lack is speed. And Weintraub just puts that right forearm into the back of Lauren Adams and takes her out of the play. And here comes the former left winger. She comes up to Janet Abraham. Men aren't the only ones that play hockey. And she spins right on by Abraham. Calls off the jam. She got the 1 point, called it off.
1 white.
Nice move by Laura Weintraub.
Well, once again, she illustrates a little bit of the different tales of two cities. Nevada, they're fast and furious. Laura Weintraub shows that. First you see her taking down Lauren Adams. That was a little bit of a wallop she gave to her. But then a little bit later, she looped around Janet Abraham. There's one weakness about these Sisters of Suffering. Fast skaters really have an easy way.
14-12, the Hot Dice have a 2-point lead. Kim Hart's out on the jam now. She's known as the Heartbreaker, and probably for good reason. She's out there leading the jam as Christine Cosson trying to catch her for the New York Enforcers. Hassan and Kim Hart. Hart got the better of that one, although she tripped up herself. She'll get up, recover, and chase the pack. Trying to get some points. And here she comes, arms and legs churning. April Toodles back to block. Oh, wow. Shea Brown with a big assist. Kim Hart calls off the jam, and Shea Brown's the one that provided the points. And there's Magnuson and Shea Brown.
And Shea Brown's not done. We just talked about her a couple of jams ago, bottling up. All the sisters are suffering. Then she takes out April Toodle. And then she goes right after Karen Magnuson. And right here you see Kim Hart and April Toodle come up. And Shea Brown, April Toodle is not a small Adrian Madonna kind of skater, but there's the showgirl sizzle. It may be a one-woman show, but it's still a sizzling showgirl. Shea Brown, great job.
Chalk one up for Shea Brown right there. This will be the last jam of the women's period as Courtney Barlow gets out of there. Courtney Barlow's been a little quiet tonight, but she's out for the Enforcers. She is one of their better skaters. There is some speed there, but not enough. As she's whacked down from behind by Mindy Smith. And Mindy Smith now being chased from behind by Lauren Adams of the Enforcers, but she has about a half a track lead. But can she get by a triple block? Not the first time. Not the second time. Here comes Adams. And Adams takes Smith down. Now Lauren Adams has 15 seconds of jam time remaining to get some points. She gets one. She got two. She got three. Abraham's blowing the pack apart. She got them all and calls it off. What a way to end the period for the Enforcers. They've taken the lead. The final period is next, and the Nevada Hot Dice send out the X-Men against the Enforcers. Big duo of Mark D'Amato and Tim Washington. It's going to be tough. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We have a great fourth period lined up for you.
Well, the crowd is just jacked up. They're all excited about that match race, and they're just ready for more action.
It's 16-15 Enforcers as we start the fourth and final skating period. P.J. Rossi gets knocked down, and that leaves Rocky Bowman on the jam. 40 seconds in jam time. Rocky Bowman comes to the back of the pack, and waiting for him there is Randy Garrett. Garrett turned into a pretty good blocker. He's in action right here. Doing a good job of holding up Bowman. P.J. Rossi trying to catch from behind for the Hot Dice. And he does. He's there. He goes by. Can he score? They get around Weber. Weber's waiting. Oh, look at that. What's he going to do?
Oh, what's he doing?
It didn't work, Mark.
I don't know what the heck that was. These guys look like they were trying to reenact the scene from a bad Jackie Chan film. Somehow Rocky Bowman ended up on his forehead.
There are no bad Jackie Chan films. What do you do when a guy does a handstand right in front of you and then grabs your ankles? You fall down. That's what happened to Weber.
I just hope there's never a man in front of me grabbing their ankles, pal.
Grabbing your ankles, you mean?
Anybody's ankles.
If a guy does a handstand in front of you, Hawk, just run the other way. 16-15, the Enforcers have the lead. Washington just gave a shot to Mark Weber. Who's going to emerge on this jam? Fred Eichhorn is one. And Jason McDaniel's the other one. Down goes Eichhorn. That leaves McDaniel.
Well, I'm trying to figure out if Jason McDaniel is out trying to score points or just trying to get out away from the pack to get away from Tim Washington.
No, this is not the way to do it because Washington will go back and grab hands with D'Amato. That's not an easy proposition. Now Weber is talking to McDaniel. He's going to try and lead him through. Can he do it against these two big guys? Weber leaps and takes him down. And there's the twister.
It's a twister. You were right, Roy. This kid is intimidated. These X-Men back down to no one.
Oh, he didn't know that Washington was coming up behind him. was a behind-the-back attack by Tim Washington.
Don't do it again. You'll find yourself out of here. You understand me? Do you understand me? Do you understand me?
Corbin threatens to throw him out of the game, and Washington skates away innocently. No, I didn't do anything.
Well, this is turning out to be the retirement tour of Mark Webber versus the Jason McDaniel retirement tour that Tim Washington just put himself on before that last jam. But Mark Webber, the young cat, takes out the two old-timers. And Jason McDaniel, there's never been any question about his athletic ability. He calls it the twister, and you gotta love the enthusiasm of these young X-Men. Earlier in the game, Tim Washington had sent McDaniel, and Micah Martin made an X out of him. And right there, Jason had to know it was coming, but he still went after it.
I don't know if he knew that was coming. He was celebrating, and all of a sudden he was tossed on his back. And Washington was skating around with an innocent little angel look on his face. As innocent as he can look, with caution stickers on his arms. Here goes John Morrison. He's out on the jam now for the New York Enforcers. Micah Martin. Christian Salvia trying to catch him.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Fred Eichhorn just threw Micah Martin down. Oh, wow. And Salvia goes down hard, too. That leaves Eichhorn along with Morrissey. And who do they have to try and get past? Webber. Looks like D'Amato wants to help him out. D'Amato's not going to take it easy on Webber as he promised earlier. He's not taking it easy on anybody. D'Amato's leading the way. And as the whistle blows, D'Amato celebrates. And how many did they get?
I got 8 black.
Wow. 8 points.
8 black.
From a 1-point deficit to a 7-point lead.
Well, on the last jam, we saw the X-Men hooping and hollering after a very good job. But we've always said it. You don't want to aggravate Mark D'Amato, Tim Washington, and the five-borough lineup. We saw Karen Magnuson in the last period do the same. He's got the cleaver out, Mark D'Amato.
We'll be right back. We're back at Roller Jam Arena, 24-17. The New York Enforcers lead the Nevada Hot Dice with just 2 minutes to play, and it's an exciting finish we can promise you right now. As Mark D'Amato trying to lead his team along with Tim Washington, Fred Eichhorn, and the rest of them to victory right here. And Jason McDaniel wants to do the same for the Hot Dice, and he gets out there on the jam and sidesteps the fallen jammer for the Enforcers, number 18, Rocky Bowman. McDaniel and Bowman going one-on-one out there. These would be big points right here, whoever picks them up. Especially if it's the Enforcers. They're already up by 7.
And what a great duel right here between McDaniel and Bowman.
They turn it over to the blockers. Webber does his job, Washington does his. Webber wants to try and take Washington out and get McDaniel through. Will he do it? Yeah, I guess he will. He put Washington up against the rail long enough for the point to be scored. Oh, man! Look out, Webber.
2 each way. 2 each way.
Oh, God. We might want to get a couple of state troopers in here.
Washington's gone crazy.
Jason McDaniel calls this the rail bar fighter. Mere mortals are influenced. Mere mortals, I say. Tim Washington, this kind of stuff just makes him mad.
He said, here, let me help you down. You have some trouble up there? I'll help you. Come on, let's go. And into the infield on his back goes McDaniel. Man. 7-point Enforcer lead, 26-19. The Hot Dice would have to have a huge jam right here to pull this game out. They need 7 to tie and 8 to win. But they do get their jammers out. They need 2 of them, and they got 2 of them. Micah Martin and Christian Salvia. So D'Amato and Washington will go to the back of the pack and try and hold on to this lead. D'Amato flings his helmet into the infield. Says, I feel better with my bald head. Let's go at it. First it's Martin, then it's Salvia, then it's Martin again. They can't get by him. They can't get by him in Washington. D'Amato's taking care of business for the Enforcers. He slips down, he grabs, he tries to hold, but they got by him. Now it's Washington. They won't get by him.
taken down, and Tim Washington stands over Salvia and Martin like an emperor on his throne, and look at the look on his face.
Oh, that's not a nice look. I don't know what Weber thought he was doing right there. Look at Tim. You better clear the building. You better get the fans out of here. Mark D'Amato raises Washington's arm, and the two of them have held on to the victory for the Enforcers. 26-21. Remember when they said they would spare Mark Weber? What happened to that?
Well, it looked like there might have been some light at the end of the tunnel. When D'Amato loses his footing, they got a shot. The two jammers are free. But Katie barred the door. Tim Washington closed the door. If you're a Nevada hot dice, you don't want no more.
I would say this looks like a football tackle, but, well, roller jam's the only true sport anyway. Let's go down to the infield. Broadway, Danny Wolf.
All right, what a game. I got to say, Mark D'Amato, you and Tim Washington, never been better. Tremendous effort. But right now, the roller derby queen contest is now a thing of the past, thank God. And you've got to be more relieved than anyone, Kenneth Loeb III, because you started this mess in the first place.
Well, that was a big cloud hanging over our head, but we resolved it on the track, as we should have, where no one could stuff the ballot box or manipulate the outcome for their own purposes.
Let me tell you something, you freak. The only game we lost was the game that you refed. How did that happen?
You assigned me to referee the game.
Shut up, I'm talking. Before I'm through with you, you're going to be washing my socks.
I have a few ideas up my sleeve as well, Mr. D'Amato. We can discuss them in the privacy of my office.
I've been trying. You haven't had any success yet.
I count my days, buddy. Your time in this league is running very short.
So you guys each have surprises for each other, Mark?
Oh, I have plenty. I haven't begun. As I said at the end of last week, I've only begun on this chump.
You've begun your retirement tour, Mr.
All right, you guys can argue until the sun comes up the next day, but right now, all I got to say, tremendous victory by the Enforcers tonight. You and Tim Washington were awesome. Maybe you'll be getting some more of your power back. We'll just have to wait and see. What a night we had here tonight. Back to you, Rory and Hawk.
All right, thanks a lot, Danny. The final score once again, 26-21. The New York Enforcers win it. And look at Sean Atkinson plant one on Stacy Blitch.
Well, Stacy Blitch, she brought home the roller derby queen crown, and I guess we're having more questions answered about the relationship between Sean Atkinson and her. And of course, I guess the relationship with Denise Loden is over.
Jason McDaniel hopping around, jumping all over the place, but he didn't win the game. Karen Magnuson and the big nasty Tim Washington making a big impact as the Enforcers get the victory. Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight. New York carries the day. We'll see you next time on Roller Jam.